The Olympic Games are in full swing, but it seems controversies are sprinting right alongside it. Despite the Olympics' promise to foster global unity, this ideal is put to the test when athletes from nations like Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Israel, and Palestine are embroiled in conflicts back home. Tensions are running so high that even a low-key campaign by a sportswear brand can ignite a firestorm, forcing a hasty retreat and an apology. Adidas finds itself in this exact predicament, once again diving into crisis management mode. After facing a wave of backlash over its Munich Olympics ad campaign, the German sportswear giant issued a public apology just 3 days later, amplifying its mea culpa in hopes of quelling the uproar. Criticism was harsh for their adverts for SL72 sneakers, the same shoes related to the 1972 Munich Olympics. The ad involving American actress Bella Hadid has had a huge fallout. Many people questioned why Hadid, who is always outspoken in favor of Palestine, was picked as the face of the campaign because of the Munich Olympics were associated with the event, where Palestinian terrorists murdered 11 Israeli athletes. Ironically, Israeli athletes at this Paris Olympics have been sent death threats as well. When Adidas started the ad campaign for their latest SL72 shoes, they thought they were paying an innocent tribute to the 1972 Munich Olympics, as the SL72 is a modern version of originally designed shoes used during the 1972 Games. The Munich Olympics may have been close to Germany and the sportswear brand Adidas, as it was the last time Germany hosted an Olympic event. However, the very same games can be triggered for both Israel and sporting worlds at large due to the 11 athletes who died during the event. But that was not the only issue critics had with the ad. Seeing Hadid as the face of the campaign, pro-Israeli supporters insulted the sportswear brand. Hadid, who has Palestinian roots through her father, has often voiced her support for Palestine, understandably, and has been critical of Israel's policies, like many other Palestinian people. The backlash Adidas received was immense, and even the Israeli government questioned the sportswear brand's intentions. Everything was wrong: the shoes, the face of the ad campaign, and the timing. Israeli athletes set to participate in the games have received death threats, prompting the Israeli government to deploy armed agents for their protection. Adidas seems to have touched a raw nerve with this campaign, forcing them to issue an apology, but that was not all. We are aware that connections have been made to tragic historical events, though these are completely unintentional, and we apologize for any upset or distress caused, a spokesperson for Adidas said in a statement sent to CNN on Friday. Connections continue to be made to the tragedy that occurred at the Munich Olympics due to our recent SL72 campaign, the brand wrote. These connections are not meant, and we apologize for any upset or distress caused to communities around the world, they further added. For those who don't know, the Munich Olympics are remembered for a tragic incident where 11 Israeli athletes were kidnapped and murdered by Palestinian terrorist group Black September. The SL72 sneaker campaign also featured French footballer Jules Koundé, US rapper A$AP Nast, and Chinese model Sabrina Lan. Koundé and A$AP Nast were named specifically in the apology, stating that the mistake was entirely unintentional. The company extended their apology to Bella Hadid, A$AP Nast, Jules Koundé, and others for any negative impact on them, stressing that they are revising the campaign. After Hadid's Adidas campaign was launched, Israel accused the 27-year-old model of anti-Semitism and calling for violence against Israelis and Jews. Hadid has faced criticism from Israel in the past, namely for her vocal pro-Palestinian support and for advocacy for relief efforts for Palestinians in Gaza during the Israel-Hamas conflict. They went ahead and removed Hadid from the campaign. Adidas assumed that removing Hadid from the ad campaign would control the damage and salvage the situation, but this too backfired. Pro-Palestinian supporters alleged that the brand was engaging in silencing tactics, saying Adidas was against voices of Palestinian heritage. Thus, the company, which is already backpedaling, had to issue yet another apology to Bella Hadid and others associated with the campaign. Although Hadid hasn't given any official word on the seemingly botched-up campaign, reports say that the supermodel is planning to take legal action against the brand. Their SL72 campaign has ended up being a total disaster. Adidas not only upset Israeli supporters with their campaign, but also riled up pro-Palestinian groups. They inadvertently brought the two warring groups together, and now both are accusing Adidas of ignorance. This is not the first time the company has found itself in troubled waters, though. Before the football tournament Euros, Adidas jersey for Germany's campaign faced a lot of flack for the number 44 jersey that was fashioned similar to the Nazi symbol, a unit responsible for a mass killing that included millions of Jews. Adidas now seems to make getting into trouble a bit of a habit. The Olympics have just kicked off and the atmosphere is already tense. Palestine continues to voice their opinion on Israel's participation in the Olympics, and Israeli athletes are playing the games under heavy security arrangements. All Adidas has done is succeed in adding more fuel to the fire. Bella Hadid adds, "My heart is bleeding with pain from the trauma I am seeing unfold, as well as the generational trauma of my Palestinian blood," she wrote back in October last year. "I mourn for the Israeli families that have been dealing with the pain and aftermath of October 7th. Similar incidents have happened in the past. In April 2024, the sportswear giant was forced to redesign the German football team kit, following outrage that likened the number on the back to the Nazi symbol. Adidas launched the new jersey with excitement ahead of Germany hosting the European Championship this summer. But the company, which was founded by a Nazi Party member, has instead found itself embroiled in another row. When critics pointed out that the number 44 bore a striking resemblance to the lightning bolts logo used by the Nazi SS units, Adidas was forced to ban German football fans from customizing the shirts. Amid growing outrage, the German Football Association last night announced that the front would be redesigned in its entirety. It comes just a month after the German national team and Adidas announced their iconic partnership, which dates back to the 1950s, would be coming to an end, paving the way for the US sportswear rival Nike to swoop in and take over. Adidas faced mounting pressure to amend its new kit. The sports brand ties to the Nazi Party have been thrust back into the limelight as a result. From making shoes for Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler to its labored response to rapper Kanye West's vile anti-Semitic rants, Adidas is no stranger to controversy. Both Adidas and Puma not only created sports shoes but made boots for Nazi soldiers, as well as Panzerschreck bazookas, an anti-tank rocket launcher used on the front line in World War II, despite none of the parties involved recognizing the controversial similarity during the design process. Someone should have done their homework. Admitting that the similarity was overlooked, the DFB clarified, "Nevertheless, we take the information very seriously and do not want to provide a platform for discussions." This episode serves as an important reminder of the importance of historical sensitivity in design, especially in a global context. Adidas, with employees from around 100 nations, emphasizes its ethos of diversity and inclusion. The incident puts Adidas in jeopardy, but their swift actions to make amends clarify that they don't side with any extreme ideologies.